NVIDIA is having a very good week because they were forecast by Wall Street analysts to do about $7 billion in sales in Q2, and they blew that number out of the water and forecast it'd be actually 11 billion, largely due to their dominance in GPU chips, which are critical to AI, specifically generative AI. Their stock had already doubled this year before this announcement. I think in the last 5 days, as of recording, it is up 25%. And a lot of that is like a very straight line up the moment that they announced this news. They are on track potentially to become a $1 trillion company. I believe some of the numbers I saw as of today, and these could change, they're only about 20% less valued than Amazon right now. So they're just like, NVIDIA is on everyone's mind. Their dominance in the chip world, especially compared to people like Intel who have fallen behind recently, is crazy, especially as we're trying to, at least in the US, source chips from places that are not necessarily fraught geopolitical fault lines. What did you make of this? This was, I don't know if I've seen, this is one of the bigger ones when it comes to beating earnings that I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, they just destroyed it, and they guided way higher. Like, it was a historic earnings call. And yeah, I mean, I guess there was people who didn't know who NVIDIA was. I'm still surprised. But then again, I shouldn't be surprised. Like, I'm still surprised people don't know who Demis Hassabis is when I give talks. And NVIDIA is one of those companies where you mention it and people are like, I don't know what that is. It's the sixth largest company in the world. Like, they're the only companies bigger than them right now are Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and the Saudi state oil giant, Saudi Aramco. And then NVIDIA. So yeah, they gained like 200 billion in market cap this week. The stock was up like 28% in aftermarket trading on Wednesday after the earnings call. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give investing advice to anybody. But people always ask me, like, I get asked all the time, like, what AI stock should we invest in? For years, I have touted in NVIDIA, like, been bullish on NVIDIA for a very long time. So if you don't know their history, basically they were formed in the 90s, and they built these powerful chips to largely they were used in video gaming. So to be able to enable a lot of the more advanced capabilities of video games in the late 90s, early 2000s. And then at some point they realized that the GPU chips they were using in video games could actually be used to power building of machine learning models. And so the company's been around for two decades plus, but it's just now like the generative AI craze sort of just like blew the door off in terms of the demand for these GPUs. So it doesn't appear that there's any slowdown coming. If anything, it's going to be in higher demand. And this is all these startups are racing to raise money so that they can buy GPUs from NVIDIA to power their AI. So yeah, just a fascinating company. And I was very happy Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. I own a lot of NVIDIA. I've been buying NVIDIA for like 7 years. So it's definitely been one of the core companies. When I redistributed my whole like investment strategy like 7 years ago to invest in AI companies, because my feeling was all of these AI powerhouses were undervalued because I didn't feel like Wall Street or the business community as a whole, investing community, understood AI. And therefore, they were undervaluing the companies that had all the data, had all the hardware, had all the infrastructure to power it. And then once the world woke up to AI, all of these companies would blow up in terms of value. And that's exactly what's happened. So, but I would also say, like, I don't think people have missed the train. I mean, there's like 7 to 10 companies in the world that are leading in AI, and you can figure out who they are yourself. You don't want me to tell you which ones they are. So yeah, NVIDIA's a great company. I mean, they're doing amazing stuff. It's beyond the chips. Like, they're going to get into actually like building the models, and they're going to become way more than just a chip company. They already are, but it'll be known as more than a chip company.